It's a small but dedicated part of the GOP, minority voters. But as candidates have made their way across Iowa for the caucuses, many black and brown Republicans say they don't feel much of an effort has been made to reach out to their communities. Our Alex Presha spoke with some of them in Iowa ahead of the caucuses.
After months of campaigning, tonight is the night. These are the faces of some of the brave Iowans facing negative 20-degree wind chills to caucus.
Show of hands here. How many of y'all, this is your first time caucusing? All three?
Yeah.
Yes.
All three.
Yaralis Bogdanov, Jamila Jones, and Michael Johnson each have something in common. They're Republicans of color living in Iowa, and each have their person.
How many people here, it's former President Trump?
Me. I'm caucusing for him.
You're caucusing, you're a caucus captain.
I'm his caucus captain, yes.
I'm for Brinkley.
Okay.
Ryan Brinkley.
And
Vivek Ramaswamy, I'm a precinct captain.
Their ultimate goal, one way or another, is to make sure a Republican is in the White House come November. Biden's approval rating has dropped among black Americans since he took office, and reports from 538 show an even larger decline among Hispanic voters.
I defeat Biden by double digits.
While the policies of some candidates have resonated with voters, Michael says little has been done to engage minority Republicans here.
have you seen outreach here specifically to engage minority voters in Iowa?
No. Not as much as it should. For me, I've taken on a responsibility to be able to bring some of my family over, because a lot of my African families are just Democrats by default.
Mary Campos and Wayne Ford have taken on that responsibility to educate as well. For decades, working to unify Iowans and educate black and brown communities about candidates from all parties. Mary is a 95-year-old Mexican immigrant who came to this country as a child, eventually settling in Iowa.
And I was privileged to meet all these candidates that wanted to be president.
Wayne has lived here since the late 70s.
Young people don't get a chance to hear from old people like her or old people like me. That's half the problem, because we have lived it and been there. We're a classic example.
If you don't vote, you can't complain.
They're the organizers behind the Black and Brown Presidential Forum in Iowa. Since 1984, this bipartisan event has addressed policies specifically facing black and brown voters. That was until this year. They canceled because only one candidate accepted their invite, Ryan Binkley.
You reached out to Governor DeSantis.
Yes.
What'd you hear?
No response.
Nikki Haley.
No response.
Donald Trump.
American said no response.
I was a little surprised at that because I thought, both of our parties represent people. And I just think that the timing was wrong.
I'm curious, would it have been something that you would have been interested in attending?
I've lived in Iowa almost 9 years now. Never heard about it, not a single time. I've never heard about that, and I would have attended.
How do you feel whenever you hear the term or the phrase voter of color?
It's 2024, something that we shouldn't even have. We're separating ourselves. We're just Americans. And to be separate like that it's not good.
But there are others who disagree.
Even if I fill out for a job application right now, it's going to ask me what my race, what my ethnicity is. So to pretend that race doesn't matter, we're all American, I feel like that's unrealistic.
RJ is an undecided voter. He last voted for Obama, but isn't quite sold on a second term for President Biden.
You feel like the black vote is more up for grabs this cycle?
I do.
Why?
Because I feel like a lot of blacks, they betted on Biden to be able to put some policies in play that were going to uplift the black community. And I feel like a lot of black people feel like, the vote got taken for advantage. But then again, we have Donald Trump and a lot of people don't per se care for him.
But he's conflicted and takes issue with Republicans because he says they don't hold events in minority communities.
How could you understand the issues if you're not directly interacting with the people in these areas?
Have you ever gotten heat? Have you ever gotten pressure from friends or family for your political views?
Yes. Some people say I'm racist with my own community because I'm Republican.
When you walk around with a Trump hat on,
It's a conversation starter, definitely. Why? You're black.
Right. The polls show former President Trump with a more than 30-point lead in Iowa, but the race between second and third place is separated by just about 3 percentage points. The minority conservative vote in Iowa is small, but in a race projected to be this tight, it certainly could make a difference. And for Mary, she and Wayne plan to continue their work, organizing and reaching out to candidates and inviting them to engage with Black and brown Iowans.
For those that might say, we need to move past this, or this idea that we're in our silos, what would be your response to that?
I'm tired of hearing America is strong. America's always been strong. America's a nation that we can be proud of. America's a nation that's welcomed everybody and anybody. And so I can't tolerate anything that would say to me, well, you're from the wrong side of the tracks. I can't stand it, and I'll do anything that I can to defeat that.
She says she's not going to let this stop her. Our thanks to Alex Presha for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.